Kathy from Spectral Web Services here with a little bit of a tour of another one of our new beta features over at tools.spectralwebservices.com. This one's another freebie, so come check it out, try it out. And as always, I'd love to have your feedback on what you think about it. So today we're going to take a look at the pop-up builder. If you're not seeing a button here, it's because you're not logged into the tools site. But you'll find in the top right corner a Get Started button. Click that, do the magic link dance, and then when you get back here, you should have buttons that work. So let's go ahead and let's open the pop-up builder. And I have left myself in a unconfigured, mostly unconfigured state. Let me hit reset so that I'm unconfigured just like you'll be when you first get there, okay? Let me save my reset. There we go. All right. So first thing we got to do is we got to make sure that we have our ghost site URL in. Mine's auto completing for me. You can set it in site settings if you'd like it to apply everywhere. And then I'm going to need a content API key. So we can go ahead and get a content API key from our ghost. We'll go into settings and then we'll scroll down to integrations. And then you can get yourself a content API key right here. It also shows you your URL again. So we just click copy and close that and come on back and let's paste that in there. Content API keys are not secret. In fact, if you're using Portal or Search, you have one exposed in your source code on your front end. So this is a key I don't need to roll even though it's in video, it's all good. Right below this, we have some excluded paths. These are some places we don't want the pop-up to run. Consider listing things like your privacy policy. If your theme has separate sign-in and membership pages where really a pop-up would feel strange, feel free to list them. If you don't need these, feel free to edit. It's all good. I'm going to go ahead and hit save here real quick so I don't have to do it again. All right. And then we're going to configure pop-ups. We can configure one or multiple pop-ups. And the first pop-up that triggers is the pop-up that goes. So what happens is the pop-up loader is checking to see, does this thing meet my conditions? And the first one to go will go. You'll never get more than one pop-up firing on the same screen. And once a pop-up is dismissed from that screen, you won't see another pop-up until however long you set the timeout. But let's go ahead and let's just take a look here, okay? So we have choices. We have a sign-up form. We have that gives you a button that then opens the portal. We have a sign-up form that gives you an inline form. If you're just collecting emails, this could be a good one. We have a pop-up that is specifically for upgrading to paid. So it would pop on people who are free members and tell them, hey, you should sign up for a paid plan. We have also an option here to pop up for people who are on a paid plan, but not our highest paid plan. So you have two plans and you want to upsell your second plan to your people on your first plan. This is your pop-up. You can also use it on free members. It works there too. But it does specifically detect member tier. And then we have this call to action pop-up that we can kind of use anywhere. You get some buttons and you can say they go here. So if you are driving donations or you want your readers to take your offsite survey or whatever it is, you want them to click a button and go somewhere, take a look at that call to action button. It probably does what you need. By the way, you can run these pop-ups anywhere, including in the starter tier on Ghost Pro. This is an all code injection solution, and that content API key that we needed is available even in Ghost Pro's starter plan. You can run it lots of places, but I specifically went after a solution that would work for you, okay? Even if you're on a fairly limited plan, it's all code injection. Okay, so let's just go ahead and let's pick a pop-up. Let's say we want to do a sign-up form, and then it'll fill in some options for us here. The form attempts to inherit styles from your site. So if you have like specific fonts or colors, it'll generally get those. But you've also got some options here. You can adjust your button style to better match your theme. You can adjust your button width. You can say what image you want. And do you want modal, which is a smaller pop-up, or a full screen big pop-up? So let's just try a few things here. So we'll go ahead and we'll do image on top, center alignment. And let's say we're using something like a logo where we don't want it to crop. So we'll go ahead and we'll pick small, don't crop instead of like one of our full bleed options that's going to crop. Down here, then we can say what are the words that we want to say. You can edit this. It's just an HTML editor. Um, Big text is heading 2, slightly smaller text is heading 3. Normal size text is normal. And again, we're going to inherit some of these styles from the theme. If you want to put links in here, you can, although usually you want people to click a button, but you have options. And then let's go ahead and let's pick an image. We'll auto pull if you have a cover image, an icon, or a logo, we'll auto pull those, but you can also click upload and upload some other image. So you got lots of options here. If you upload, you'll hit save so that it'll remember and let you use it on future pop-ups. Lots of options. We can change what does the button say. If you don't want the button to say subscribe, you want it to say sign up or join the fun. You can do that. Typically, if you're going to ask people to subscribe, you probably also want to show a sign-in link, and you've got control over how that reads. So if you need it in a different language, for example, just go change. All the wording is available here, so you can totally localize your wording to whatever you need. Set your triggers, how long until the pop-up pops, and or based on scroll position, do you want them to get halfway down the page and then the pop-up pops? You can also say, I don't want them to see a pop-up until they've been here more than 3 times in the last 7 days. So they've seen more than 3 pages. So this is a way to sort of track and try to say, hey, you're obviously sticking around instead of them getting a pop-up on their first page load. I'm going to turn that off because it makes it hard to demonstrate. There are lots of additional options under advanced settings. Again, more opportunities to localize text if you need it. We also have here some abilities to change who sees a pop-up. Do you only want readers who can't read what's on the screens because it's maybe paywalled or requires a sign-in? You can set that. You can set, does the pop-up show up based on host access? And then more opportunities to localize text for your dismiss link. And finally, how long after they close the pop-up before they see another one? So, if somebody has dismissed your pop-up, maybe you don't want to pop up on every single page. That could be a little annoying, but you probably don't want the pop-up to be gone forever. If you're testing, I'm setting a cookie, delete the cookie to get it back, or just while you're testing, leave it to 0 so that it'll keep firing every time you load the page while you're testing. When you like what you got, hit save. Always a good idea to hit save. And then up here, way at the top of this pop-up configuration, we have a preview button. You can hit the preview button, and you should get a pretty good representation of what's going to happen over on your live site, with some caveats about it's possible that there are some font differences. Here, I'm not loading your site styles except for accent color. So it may look slightly different on your site. It should be really close. You can do the same thing multiple times. So that was a sign up pop-up, but maybe I also want an upgrade one or some other call to action. I would just click add a pop-up and then choose an additional pop-up type. And you can configure as many of these as you want. Again, first pop-up to fire that's eligible for that member is going to win. So if it's most important to you that people see the donate pop-up, maybe schedule that one to pop a little sooner. Okay, once you like what you have, and I'm going to remove this one. By the way, if you want to keep all your pop-up settings, but you don't actually want that pop-up to be active, you've also got a toggle to just turn it off, or you can delete it entirely. If you delete it, it's gone. You'd have to recreate it. So if you've got kind of a mix of sometimes I'm running this one, sometimes I'm running that one, you may want to toggle them on and off this way. Okay. Once you like what you have and you've hit save, then you come down to this bottom section and you hit copy code. Super important. Although I save your pop-up settings on my server, I don't live sync them over to your site because I wanted something that would work even for people who didn't have admin API access, like the folks on the starter plan. So that means you have one little step to do yourself, which is to copy this code over. So you're just going to click copy code. It should probably display a checkbox that's now on my list. And let's get ourselves back over to Ghost. We're in our Ghost admin dashboard. And we're going to go down to code injection. Let's open code injection up. And under site footer, if you already have some things in site footer, that's fine. Just stick it down at the bottom. I have a search configuration for my search that I hope you'll also check out. And now we'll just paste that code in like so. And you can see here, if you needed to edit this code later, it's attempting to be sort of human readable. You could, although it's probably easier to go back to the tools site, make the edits, and then copy and paste the changes over. But you could do either. By the way, if you prefer to self-host, the only thing you need from my server is that runtime file. Feel free to download it and put it on your own server if you don't want to pull it from mine. Runtimes.spectralwebservices.com is actually Cloudflare, so it should be nice and fast and more reliable than my self-hosted server is, but you do you. If you'd like to self-host, you go for it. That doesn't get you the pop-up build tool, but it does get you just standalone if you don't want external third-party scripts running on your site. Totally cool. You can download it. That's fine. It does mean you won't get bug fixes, but that's okay. You can always come and grab another copy. All right, once you've done that, don't forget to hit save. And now let's get ourselves over to the live site. Please forgive the state of my live site. It is very clearly not my live site. It's my demo site. And our pop-up should be here. If you're looking at a stale page from before you put the code injection in, make sure you got a fresh load so the code should be live. And then we can either sit here and wait, or I think I set a trigger. So let's scroll down a little bit and see if it shows up. Well, that's embarrassing. What happened here? It should be logging. Oh, no pop-ups qualify for this user. There are hints in the console over here. It's a little loggy. Remember, we made a sign up pop-up, but I'm logged in. So let's just real quick sign out of my website. And we'll get a quick reload on this page. Now there's a pop-up ready. So there's a timer running or there's a scroll trigger running. I'm going to scroll. That should cause it to pop on up. So there you go. Never miss a post. And we've got some options here for some styling. Let's just preview a couple more of the options here. I'm just going to hit add a pop-up and we'll show you upgrade to paid real quick. I'm going to largely leave the defaults as they are, but just to kind of let you see a few options. And let's pick another small logo here. And we'll just go ahead and hit preview. And so I meant to get another layout. Let me grab a different layout. So we'll do image left, text right. And this time let's do full screen. So you can see we've got a full screen layout as well. By the way, all these work on mobile. Some of them restack, but they will work on mobile. So options there for full screen. All the layouts work on full screen. They work on little small partial pop-ups. So you can do either. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's hit upload and we'll grab my resized image. Nobody needs 5,000 by 5,000 pixels in a pop-up. And that'll upload. And once you upload, you can use it in multiple pop-ups, which is kind of cool. Okay, so we've got this nice sunset pop-up. Thank you, Unsplash. And so then let's go ahead and let's just adjust real quick what our layout looks like. And I think this time we'll do image right, text left. And let's make that image large and full bleed. Hit save, and then I'll hit preview so we can see we've got some totally different layouts we can do with this pop-up builder. Go ahead and close that one. We've also got, we can do sort of the same thing in full screen. So got some options here. If you've got some big graphics you want to really showcase with your pop-ups, you've got some options. And with that, I'll leave you there and say, play with it, give it a go. Don't forget to hit save settings so that if later you want to make some edits to your pop-ups or add another pop-up to your collection, that you'll have all of your work saved. And then, of course, when you like how it looks on preview, don't forget that you need to copy code, get it over to Ghost Code Injection in order for it to be live. Changes made here do not go live until you copy code. So don't email me until you've tried copying code to tell me that it's not working, okay? I'd love to have your feedback. Let me know what you think.